In this video, we are going to be taking a look at decimal subtraction, and the essential question is how can you use base 10 blocks to model decimal subtraction. And you will need to get out base 10 blocks if you're in the classroom. If you're not, you'll just do the quick draw. And we're going to be taking a look at page 125 in your Go Math book, so you will need to have your Go Math book out, your math journal, and your pencil. Okay, we are going to take a look at the investigate problem on page 125. So it says letter A, use base 10 blocks to find 84 hundredths minus 56 hundredths. Okay, now the first thing we need to do is figure out what 84 hundredths is. So what we need are 8 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, now remember, why do we have 8 of these? Because these represent 1/100th. Okay, and these represent 1/10th. Okay, so we have 8 of these because there's an 8 in the tenths place, and then 4 of the little squares here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if you're at home, you can draw just 8 lines and 4 circles. If you're at school, you can have the 8 tenths out and the 4 hundredths out. Okay, so the only thing we need to have out is the first number right here in our subtraction problem. So 84 hundredths. Now the first thing we need to do, we're going to subtract 56 hundredths from this, so we're going to start removing 6 hundredths. Okay, now we have only 1, 2, 3, 4 total hundredths, so what we're going to have to do is regroup, and we need to actually make this tenth into 10 1/100ths. Okay, now since I regrouped and made this tenth into 10 hundredths, what I'm going to do is just simply cross this tenth out. Okay, and now what I can do is I can start removing my 6 hundredths. So we can cross out 6 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, which leaves me with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hundredths. Okay, so what we can even do is put an 8 down for right now, representing the number in the hundredths place. And then what we need to do, we need to subtract the tenths. You can see there are 5 tenths, so therefore we need to take 5 away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which gives me 2 tenths left over. So we have our 2 here in my tenths place. We put our decimal point down. We don't have any 1s at all, so we couldn't put a 0 here. And you can see that we have 2 tenths and 8 hundredths, giving us a total of 28 hundredths. Now we have a couple drawing conclusion questions there at the bottom. It says, what if you remove the tenths first and then the hundredths? How would you regroup? Okay, I do not recommend you doing this at all. It's always good practice just to follow the hundredths and then the tenths, but what you would still do, you would still need to regroup by exchanging 1/10 for 10 hundredths. Okay, so let's take a look at that synthesized question. If 2 decimals are both less than 1, what do you know about the difference between them? Okay, so we know that the difference between them will also be less than 1. Why is that? Because we know that even 0.99 hundredths minus 1 hundredth is going to give us 98 hundredths. Okay, so and that's the greatest possible difference. Okay, so the difference will obviously be less than 1. Okay, now we're going to use this quick picture here on page 126 to model 282 hundredths minus 1 and 47 hundredths. Okay, keep in mind the only thing that you need to draw a picture of at first is the very first number, 2 and 82 hundredths. So we have 2 1s, we have 8 tenths, and then we have 2 of the hundredths pieces here. Now, what we need to do is we need to take 1 and 47 hundredths away from the 2 and 82 hundredths. So the first thing we would need to do is take 7 ones away. Now obviously 7 ones cannot be taken away, 7 hundredths cannot be taken away from 2 hundredths. So what we need to do is regroup. Okay, so we need to take this tenth and we need to make 10 hundredths out of this. Okay, so I will do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now that we've regrouped, we can understand that the one that we've regrouped is no longer a tenth anymore. It's been turned into a hundredth. Now what we can do, we can take 7 away pretty easily. I use a different color of ink for this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, now we have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hundredths. Now we go to the tenths place. You can see we have 4 here in the tenths place. Therefore, we need to take 4 of these tenths away. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can see we have left over 1, 2, 3 in the tenths column. And now we have a 1 in the ones place that we need to take away, so we can cross that out. Okay, after we have subtracted everything there. And now you can see we have an answer here. All right, now in order to draw our answer, we draw 1. Okay, that would represent a square for the ones place. We have 3, 1, 2, 3 in the tenths place. And then you can see we have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the hundredths place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then at the bottom of page 126, we have 282 minus 147 gives us 1. And that's a decimal point. 3 in the tenths place. 5 in the hundredths place. So 1 and 35 hundredths. Okay, now let's take a look at the share and show section on page 127. And we have 62 hundredths minus 18 hundredths. Okay, and what we are going to do is take away 18 hundredths from this 62 hundredths. Why do we know it's 62 hundredths? There are 6 lines drawn representing the tenths place and 2 circles representing the hundredths place. So the first thing we need to figure out, we need to take away 8 of the hundredths away. Now there are only 2 right now, so what we will have to do is regroup. Okay, so we will circle this and make 10 of these. 1, and I want you to do this with me. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so now we have 12 hundredths. You can take away 8 from 12. Pretty easy there. I'll use a different color of ink to represent subtraction now. So we're going to take away 8 of these hundredths. So let's cross them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now you can see I have 4 hundredths left over. Now we move to the tenths place. We only need to take 1 away from the tenths place, so we can just cross this one out right here, leaving us with 1, 2, 3, 4 tenths. Remember, we regroup, so this one's eliminated as well. All right, so now we have 0, 1, so we'll write a 0 there. 4 tenths and 4 hundredths. So 0 and 44 hundredths. Okay, so you can take a look, and this looks a little bit different, but it actually matches your book completely. Okay, numbers 2 through 7, you can see the answers for each of them. You can see the process that was done in order to get those correct answers. Make sure that you are regrouping, that you're taking away properly, and you may need to rewind the video if you have some of these incorrect. Okay, moving along here, we're going to take a look at the test prep problem. This problem is not in your book, so you do need to still work this problem out. And when you're finished, you can press play and I will have the answer for you. So pause the video now. Okay, here's the answer, letter A, and make sure that matches your answer as well. And finishing up the video, how can you use base 10 blocks to model decimal subtraction? Model the first number using squares, sticks, and small circles. Then model the number being subtracted by removing small cubes, longs, and then flats that represent the number. And then obviously you need to regroup as needed. So this concludes the video on decimal subtraction. If you have any questions about this concept, please come and see me.